Now, gold leaf electroscope is one of a good experiment where you can show the charging by induction and charging by conduction. Like you can see, the arrangement of a gold leaf electroscope is like this. You have a conductor, maybe a brass disc, it's all a conductor, and then over here you have gold leaves which is hanging on a rod over here. So it's gold leaf, what you can see over here. Gold leaf is very light and it's a good conductor, and in case if both the leaves have got similar charge, they will repel each other, and the amount of diverging, the amount by which they will diverge, it will show the strength of that charge. If the charge on both the leaves is strong, they will diverge a lot. If the charge on both the leaves is weak, they will diverge less in that case. So here the arrangement in gold leaf electroscope is somewhat like this. The case A is there, and in case A you have this conductor, the brass cap, and you have gold leaf on that, and they are just hanging because nothing is there is no charge. I take case B where now what we do is we bring a charged body near to it and we just touch it. A charged rod is touched to it. When a charged rod is touched to it, you will see they are diverging. Why? Because that charge will ultimately come on both of them. The amount by which they will diverge, it will give you an idea, the amount of charge they are having. More diverging mean more charge they are having, less divergence mean they are having less charge. Now, in case C, what we do is, we remove this charge, we remove this charge body, and then, but they were still charged, they were still apart because the charge has already reached here. We have removed that charge body, but then in case D, what we do is, we are bringing another charge body near to it. It was having a negative charge. Now what will be the impact? If this is negative charge, on the closer side there will be a positive charge, and on the farther side there will be a negative charge. So if it was already having a positive charge, but due to induction this negative charge has also occurred here, so they will come closer, they will converge, because this negative charge will make them converge. There will be net charge which is a reduced positive charge or maybe neutral. So this is how we have taken some cases. Either we bring direct a conductor, a charge body in touch, and then the amount of divergence will tell you the amount of charge, and it will charge and it will show you that it is being charged, and then the amount of divergence will tell you the strength of the charge. And then after removing this rod, if you are bringing another charge body close to it, then by induction there will be an impact on it. So in gold leaf electroscope you can show charge by conduction and charge by induction. So now we can have a re-look at one of the example that we started with, when we are rubbing comb in our dry hairs and we are bringing this comb, this charged comb, near to the pieces of paper. Now in that case we may wonder that that's okay, that the plastic comb was rubbed through dry hair and it was charged, but these piece of paper, they were never rubbed, they were never charged. So what make it happen that a plastic comb which is charged is able to attract these pieces of paper which is not charged at all? It is due to induction. So what happened that this positive charge which is on the plastic comb, due to induction, piece of paper can be considered to be an insulator. So due to induction, on this closer side there is a induced negative charge, and on the farther side there is some induced positive charge. This negative being closer will be having a force of attraction, and this positive, which is relatively farther, will be having a force of repulsion. So negative being closer will have a stronger force of attraction, and as a result we'll see that there is an ultimate attraction towards this charged comb of these pieces of paper. So here we started the concept with this, but then when we talk about these pieces of paper attracted towards the charged comb, it is actually an example of induced charge on these pieces of paper. So let's once again write this value. How much is the induced charge possible? So you have brought a positively charged body or a charged body maybe near to an insulator, or it may be a conductor. So it will certainly have some induced charge on it, and if you are calculating the amount of induced charge, it becomes Q into 1 minus 1 by K. I have also discussed it prior. Now Q is the inducing charge, which is the charge on this, and Q dash is the induced charge which is developing on this insulator or a conductor. Here everything depends on K. Now this K is either called as dielectric constant, it is also called as specific inductive capacity, and this is also represented as relative permittivity. Now when we come to Coulomb's law, we'll talk of this relative permittivity in much more detail. It is relative to air, permittivity of the medium relative to air. Now this dielectric constant, as we can see in this table, for vacuum dielectric constant has a value 1. So if I put here 1, Q dash will be 0. For air it is 1.003. So in vacuum we will not have any induced charge. In air it is 1.003. In paraffin wax it is 2.1. In rubber the value of K is 3. In transformer oil 4.5. In glass 5 to 10. In mica it is 6. In silicon it is 12. In germanium it is 16. In glycerin it is 50. In water it is 8. It should be 81. And in metal it is infinite. So in case if I am talking of water, if this material is water and I am asking for what is the induced charge in water, so in water I would say Q dash will be Q into 1 minus 1 by 81. And in case if I talk in metal, Q dash is Q 1 minus 1 by infinite. So it is equal to Q minus 0. So in metals or in conductors, the induced charge will have exact the same value as that of inducing charge. But in other material, insulators, Q dash will be always less than Q. Now, we have some other points to be discussed here, like a charged body can apply attractive force on uncharged body. It is very much possible. You have a charged body like it was the case of comb, and then a charged body can attract uncharged body. It may be the piece of paper. It was uncharged, but how it is attracting? By inducing charge on it, and as a result there will be a net attraction. So a charged body can attract an uncharged body by induction. Second point, a large charged body can attract a very small like charged body by inducing an opposite charge on the closer side. So here just imagine that you have a large charged body, and then in front you are keeping a very small body which is charged. It is also having a like charge. But in that case also we may observe some attraction. And why the attraction will take place? That due to this positive charge, there will be some negative charge, and if the induced charge is more than this positive charge, there will be some net negative charge on this, and because of that you will observe some attraction. So a large and highly charged body can even attract a small and similarly charged body due to induction. Similarly, let's talk of this point number 3 here. Point number 4. A charged body, however, can never repel an uncharged body. So it is never possible that you have a charged body and then you are bringing some uncharged body and you are observing some repulsion. This is not possible, because due to induction there is only possibility of attraction, net attraction, and never repulsion. And then the last point, we can ignore quantization of electric charge, I have discussed. So otherwise we say Q is equal to plus minus Ne. The charge is of discrete nature. It will have a value E, 2E, 3E, 4E, like that. It doesn't have a continuous nature. But we can ignore quantization of electric charge. We can say charge is almost continuous in case if we are talking of electric current flowing through a wire or macroscopically, because maybe you are talking of electric current flowing through the wire. The current is flowing like this, but the electrons are flowing opposite to it. But if you calculate the number of electrons flowing due to the electric current, it will be so high that you can't even observe the discrete nature of these electrons flowing one after another through any cross section. It will appear to you as though it is all flowing as a continuous flow. So here we can say macroscopically quantization of electric charge can be ignored, can be neglected, but microscopically, yes, the charge on a body is quantized.